is Rebecca Schissel-Marshall with Whole Body Upgrade, a podcast to help you get unstuck, feel better, and have more energy. Let's get started. Hello, friends. I'm coming to you today, recording this on the land of the Creek and the Cherokee in what is now known as Athens, Georgia. I'm so glad to be with you all today. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a paradigm shift that I'm seeing. The world is really changing before our eyes. It's most definitely in a state of turmoil. I see this just in the emails that I'm receiving from my own local school district for my children, from my own employer, from the university, and really watching the news and watching what's going on in Facebook. I believe that this is the great undoing of generations of systemic problems that we have. Our healthcare has major problems, our educational system, our political systems, they all need help. American society really needs help. While it's so hard to watch it all unfolding while we're also at the same time fighting for what we want to see in the world, I believe it's really offering us an amazing opportunity. It may not be easy, but I kind of see this as our chance. I see that we're being called to do things differently. At the very beginning, at the very least, to slow down. And I think that's what, I was counting. It's been, at the time of this recording, it's been 4 months since we've been in isolation in our home. And we really have had to do things differently. We aren't overscheduled in the same way anymore. We still are working from home. We still have work, but we aren't rushing to baseball. We aren't rushing to 3 different activities at the end of the week. We're learning how to have empty time. My children are learning. I'm learning how exciting it can be just to go get the mail from the mailbox. That's one level, right? Slowing down, questioning that fast-paced speed that American culture has always really had as the backbone of its American society. Do more, push more, strive more. So we have this opportunity to revamp our core beliefs and our systems. And unfortunately, our systems have really been built on white body supremacy here in the United States. So I'm holding on to hope that we have this opportunity to come up and to come out with different systems. Ones that support the people who are here, to support Black, Indigenous, and people of color, as well as LGBTQ+, all humans, and not only the humans, also the animals, the planet. It's really the vision I have for the world. And, I am optimistic in some ways. I really hope it happens in my lifetime, that we are able to create something different. And in order to create something different, we need to think differently. We have to dream in a different way. One of my teachers would say that what we're thinking is what we're creating. In shamanism, that's one of the core beliefs. So my teacher would have us journey to our sacred garden and see what thoughts were growing and what maybe there might be some weeds that we wanted to pull out. What were we growing and what did we not want to be growing? So I've been thinking about this lately because in my own thoughts, I was noticing how I talk about this critical voice in our head that we have, and I have it as well. I think every human on the planet has a critical voice. And the voice was saying that I wasn't successful because I wasn't meeting this particular, and I'm going to call it the old world. It's kind of our current world, this old world metric of what's, putting in air quotes, successful, right? Money, power, prestige, How many thousands of things do you have on your resume or on your curriculum vitae? So in my mind, if I'm not meeting those particular standards, then there's less value. There's less success. So unless a particular societally imposed metric is met, then where is my worth? Where is my value? And as I was speaking with one of my friends, we were talking about that it didn't have to be this way. And it was very clear to me in that moment that we have so many possibilities in front of us, and yet we think it has to be a certain way because it's what we've been kind of handed through, again, advertisement, media, through the culture. And I remember talking about with one of my dear friends, Aaron, that the country of Bhutan has this gross national happiness index, right? Instead of a gross national product, it's happiness index. And that, I looked it up because I was so fascinated about this. It includes these 4 pillars, and they've actually separated out into more pieces, but it includes good governance, sustainable socioeconomic development, cultural preservation, and environmental conservation. So there are different ways to look at success in the world, different ways to value who and what we are. And as I've been having these conversations with my friends, I could see that I've created many things of high value in my life. I look at my children and their love of nature and their kindness. I think about all of the hundreds of students that I've educated over the course of my 20 years at the university, and how many times maybe it wasn't even just in class, but that they came to my office and we talked about life. We talked about big choices they were making. We talked about challenges they were facing. That's valuable. I teach women a new way of looking at their health, how to feel better, how to have more energy. That's a valuable service to the world. So reframing it in that way really helped me to see that when that very critical voice is talking about success or comparing myself with a neighbor or someone else that I work next to, it doesn't necessarily have to meet those same standards. Really, what I see now is that all of the upheaval around us is creating a new paradigm. And with the crumbling of the old systems, what I hope is happening is that we're building new systems. What if what we used to value, this money or power or striving, or really for a long time we were valuing exhaustion, right? Hey, how are you? Busy. Exhausted. Those are the answers that we have. So we're valuing so many things that it's like, actually, I value someone who's rested, who's healthy, who is enjoying their life. What if we valued kindness and compassion towards others? What if that was the new currency? What if we in the United States had a happiness index? What if we valued the social emotional being of our children in school more than their grades, or at least as much as? So I think part of this is that I see a lot of rage in people, especially, I live in the South, it's quite conservative. And part of that upset, I believe, is that these old metrics are really being clung to when there is this flipping that's happening, and it's making a lot of people very uncomfortable. One, because it's the unknown. We don't know what's going to surface yet. We don't have a new system in place. But also because they had created their own lives around those particular metrics. We all have. All of the degrees I have were because that's what was valued, right? I'm supposed to get lots of degrees because that's somehow more valuable than creative time or spending time in nature. What I see now is that we're being asked to value ourselves and others in a different way. And we're being asked to value the systems differently and to look at what we value and put that into the systems in a new way. I think it's going to feel really hard for a while until we accept that we can no longer do things in the same way, right? Everybody kind of wants it to go back to being, again, air quotes, normal, when it's time to step into a new way of being. When we accept that there is no normal anymore, we have to create it, then we begin to be able to allow change to occur. One of my favorite sayings that I often say to clients and to students is, I love you exactly as you are, and I'll help you be however you want to be. And in this moment, right, you can love the system that's no longer really available to us. And maybe it's time to shift it instead of holding on to the old and adding. Perhaps it's time to really take a good look at what's going on and think about, well, what do I want to keep? And maybe it's none of it. Maybe it's all of it. Maybe you love, I just keep thinking of structure. Maybe you love structure and you really want that structure to be there. But what if your structure looked different? So what I would love to do is encourage you to dream in a new way of being, right? Just like my teacher said, like we have this new way of thinking. What we think is what's creating our new world. So I'll share some of my dreams with you. What if compassion is the new currency? What if love is at the forefront of all of our decisions? What if kindness is our home and all sentient beings are valued? What if the earth is taken care of as a top priority? What if good, nutritious food was something that we ensured that everyone had access to? What if rest and slow living became the norm so that we could nurture and care for ourselves? If health and wellness and our own social emotional well-being are nurtured, are cared for, are brought into the workplace, not just us trying to be healthy on the outside and then going to work? What if our elders are respected and listened to for their ways? And what if the ways of the indigenous who lived here first were taken into consideration? I dream that diversity is a natural aspect of our community, that it's welcomed, and that our community is the foundation of connection and the beginning of all of our systems. I have so many other dreams for what we could do as a society. And I also think that this is something that we can do internally. I think we're being called to look at our own internal systems. So let's take a moment and just think about your own current beliefs. You may believe that in order for a child to learn, they have to be sitting at a desk from 7:40 until 2:40 in the afternoon. Or maybe you believe that if you're, again, sitting at a desk, at a work, that's the only way that you can get work done, the only way you can be productive. So what's working and what's not in your beliefs? This is our chance to see things in a new way and change first. Maybe we need to first change our own internal system in order to change those external systems. So I have a few questions for you to kind of think about this. And this might help you as you're looking at your own internal systems. This will help you to identify maybe what you're holding in place. The first one is, who do you want to be? What's your dream? Who do you want to be? And I want you to notice, what does that feel like in your body? What does your dream feel like in your body? And then turning your attention to what beliefs, what internal beliefs, internal systems are holding you in place. Well, I can't have that because. Right? If your dream is to travel the world. Well, I can't have that because of COVID. And you might say, well, that's fact. But is it? I know people who are traveling right now. So what beliefs are holding you in place? And then what's one small action, one small thing you can do today to step into who you want to be? So maybe if you want to be traveling the world, maybe it's just researching about where you want to go. Maybe it's looking into how could I do things differently in terms of making money, or maybe it's saving $5. Going back to the last episode, not buying the double mocha latte, putting that $5 in a savings account so that you can travel. So I encourage you to really take some time and spend a few minutes dreaming about your own personal desires, right? What you want to have happen, who you want to be, but also the systems that you would like to see created in the world. We have an opportunity to dream into being new systems, new values, and even who you want to be. It doesn't mean that things won't be hard around us. They are. It's not a wishing away of all the things that are happening. It's dreaming while also saying, yep, I got to figure out how I'm going to care for the kids when I'm supposed to be at work and their school is online. And, well, what do I really want? I want to work half the time with double the money, right? What beliefs do you want to grow in your garden? All right, friends, thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Whole Body Upgrade. If you'd like to learn more about working with me, you can visit me on Facebook or Instagram, or on my website, CenteredYou, that's CenteredYou.com. See you on the next episode of Whole Body Upgrade.